Okay, started the stream. Initializing. This is the 2-minute pre-stream for all the for all the MVPs that came 2 minutes early. I hope the intro's like way too loud and then it's just like busts everyone's speakers. No, I turned down the volume. I turned down the volume to like 30%, so hopefully when I play it, it's not like deafening.
Robin. Dude, Eager Electronics is going on.
What's going on?
I was saying, oh look, Eager Electronics is live.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. AHUFF. We're just gonna talk for a little bit, and then I'm gonna play one of your songs, and then we can just talk some more, and then etc.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yep, sounds good. Yeah.
So then we can talk about the music and all that.
Perfect.
All right, it's 7. Okay, I'm gonna play the intro now.
I don't want to hear.
Eager to hear, experience.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Eager to Hear podcast. This is episode 31. We are here with AHUFF. How's it going?
Hello. Good. How are you guys?
We're good. Thanks for being on.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being the guinea pig to test our new intro. No, okay, that's the new fake intro because the actual real new intro is coming up next week. So get ready for that. All right,
Awesome.
so just can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into music and what inspired you?
Yeah, I'm 22 almost years old. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and I went to college at Berklee College of Music in Boston. And I have been playing instruments for like 12 years now almost. And so I've always kind of had music a part of my life. And I was a trombone player in orchestra. And then when I got into college, I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. And then I decided to go the production route at Berklee. So now I'm just kind of figuring out what I'm going to do career-wise, like if I want to go into TV producing or anything of that nature. But right now I'm just working on music production and DJing and just like figuring out life after college.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, engineering and production is a good field to go into. So you said trombone you played?
Yeah,
so
that's what I played
Sorry.
when I was like a little kid. When I started playing in middle school, and then I played all throughout high school, and then that's how I got into Berklee.
So what other instruments are you proficient in?
I play a little bit of piano and some like baritone, which is another like orchestral instrument. But I play just piano, like not for like crowds or anything, just for like production wise and stuff.
So that's something you incorporate into your music often?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I do also do some like playing for Berkeley. I used to just do some playing for Berkeley still, like for shows and stuff, but I mostly just incorporate the piano into my production. I usually only play trombone like for fun.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you gotta have a side hustle, I guess.
Yeah.
So how do you see yourself in the future, like growing or changing, or where your music's gonna head?
Well, I'm really hoping to like work on like a lot of podcast music or doing music for TV shows or web series and stuff like that. You know, I'm really interested in like how movies are made and TV shows, and I think the music really adds another layer that like really brings a TV show or movie production to the next level. So I'd really like to do that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So as opposed to like just releasing records, you want to get more into the media and music for media.
Yeah, that is something I'm really interested in. I'm also learning how to DJ, so I do want to like, you know, play at clubs and stuff. So I'm kind of just like putting out a lot of stuff and seeing like what happens. You know, I think a lot of the times people just like limit themselves to one thing, and then when that one thing doesn't work, they give up. And I just like want to do a lot of stuff that I'm interested in and see what works and see what doesn't work and go from there.
I think that's a great point. Like sometimes it's really nice to diversify, so you have like fallbacks, or what is it, like don't put too many eggs in one basket.
Exactly, yeah. And it's like I feel like a lot of people, they just like give up after one thing doesn't work, and it's like that's, you know, of course if you just do one thing and it doesn't work and then you give up, it's like, but that's not really trying. I don't feel like, you know, you got to like try a bunch of different stuff, see what works, see what doesn't work, see what you like, see what you don't like, and then move on from there, you know. Like I'm still young, so
yeah, you got plenty of time, and like even if you fail at the things you really want to do, you can fail and still keep going, get up and do it again.
yeah,
you know?
exactly.
That's awesome.
So that's where I'm at right now with my music. I'm really into like electronic music and EDM and the rave scene, and so that's why I really started to get into DJing and stuff like that.
All right, so should we play your first song?
Yeah, sure.
So I Spy, let's go with that. This is I Spy by AHUFF. Let's see. So I'm a little bit familiar with EDM, but how does that like differ from maybe other forms of electronic music?
Do you want to stop it and then keep talking?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, I turned down the volume on my end. Let's do that. Woo! Yeah, I don't know how to control the volume on your guys' end.
Oh no, it's okay. What'd you say?
Oh, So EDM, I know a little bit about EDM, not too much, but how would you say that differs from maybe other forms of electronic music?
Well, I think EDM is like kind of like a broad term for like all electronic music, but I think like more of the music that I make is like house kind of, which is like a subgenre. So I would say EDM stands for electronic dance music, which like is a broad term for like all types of electronic music.
Oh, it is a broad term. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I would say like I make like house music, which is like, you know, like just stuff that you like dance to, or some of it has words, some of it doesn't, but it's more of like a lot of stuff that you listen to at like clubs and stuff like that. But yeah, I would say EDM, in my opinion, is just like a really broad term for like all electronic music.
Right. Okay. So when you have the SoundCloud version, the release that you have, like if you were to play it in a club, is there like an extended version that you would like put together for that type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of the times actually, like when you're DJing, you actually like cut down songs like way shorter than they actually are. So I feel like that'd probably be good, but I probably wouldn't play the entire thing. Like I'd probably play just like the first like verse and then the first drop and then change it, you know, and come back to it. You know, so a lot of the times that's what DJs do is they'll play like one section of a song, then they'll play a different song, then like go back to another section of the first song, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so you have that that ability to jump around when you're playing it live. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. And they do have some extended versions and stuff like that, but I think it really just depends on like what kind of DJ you are, you know. Like trance DJs where they have like really, really long like beginning parts and then really, really long drops, you know, I think they'll extend it more than like I would say like house or like EDM DJs do, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
So let's see. So do you have any advice for someone that might want to get into what you do?
Yeah, I would say honestly, you gotta just stick with it. There's gonna be a lot of times where you just feel like it's like never gonna work out, like it's a pipe dream, you know, and you just have to stick with it because you never know what's gonna, you know, get people to like what you do, get people to like what you listen to, and you just gotta be confident in that it's all going to work out in the end. I just feel like a lot of the times people just like quit even before they start. So you just got to really believe in yourself and just like kind of just go balls to the wall and just do it, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, just keep on moving forward.
Yeah, and don't be afraid. If you think something could suck, then just do it anyway. You know, it doesn't hurt to try something, but it hurts not to try something.
That's true. Yeah, you can't win if you don't play Arizona Lottery. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We are not sponsored by the Arizona Lottery, but if the Arizona Lottery would like to reach out to us and set up a sponsorship, I'm just kidding. Don't buy lottery tickets. It's a waste of money. That's the point of today's episode. I'm just kidding. No. Okay, so do you have any favorite artists or bands that you think are really underrated that people should check out?
Oh God, that's a rough one. I feel like I could spend the whole 45 minutes just talking about this one.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I love, you know, I listen to a lot of DJs. I go to a lot of DJ shows, so I feel like most of the stuff that I listen to, even when I'm not at a show, are DJs. So I love Griffin. Griffin is an amazing DJ. Let's see here. I'm just gonna go through my what's it called? My SoundCloud.
Yeah, do it. Go for it.
The Zed remix of that song "Rude" that they used to always play is amazing. Sam Felt, amazing. Quintino, also amazing. I really do like a lot of like big DJs too, like Porter Robinson, Millennium, Seven Lions, so stuff like that. I do like tend to lean more towards like emotional stuff that has a lot of music, a lot of words in it, but then I would like always make stuff that doesn't have a lot of words in it. So I guess that's kind of weird. But another great DJ, she's actually not a DJ, she's like an electronics performer. Her name is Elohim. She's great too. So I'd say check all of them out if you are like trying to get into listening to electronic music. That's like a good foundation.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So do you see yourself in the future maybe adding more lyrics to your music? Isn't that something you like?
Definitely. That's actually something that I'm working on right now. I feel like I had a lot of stuff recently because I've been focused on like trying to find singers and like working with them to try to make stuff, even though they're not in Arizona with me. So it's like trying to work on stuff remotely. But that's what I've been focusing on right now. I'm trying to get stuff together to work with one of my friends from Berkeley, Sean Feff, and one of my other friends from Berkeley, Jessica Westrich. We're working on 2 different songs right now that I'm going to hopefully have out in the future. And the other things I'm working on is making a DJ mix that you can listen to, you know, that you can throw on at a party, or if you just want to listen to like a kind of a culmination of a bunch of different DJs. I'm trying to make like a long DJ set, probably about an hour, and I'm going to record and put out. So I got some stuff in the works, definitely. And the 2 songs that I'm working on right now do have lyrics. Yeah.
That's awesome. Sounds like you have a lot going on.
Yeah, I hope so. You know, it's kind of hard working on stuff remotely because you got to like send it and then just like hope for the best and wait for them to send it back. So that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment.
All right, cool. So should we go to another song of yours?
Yeah,
See,
for sure.
Roller Coaster Ride Joust. This is your remix of that?
That's actually, it's a remix that I did for this website, and they said I could post it, so I posted it.
Wait, what website?
It's called Skio, Skio music. They just do a lot of like remix contests, and they like you could submit remixes, and they'll like promote them if they like them and stuff. So I submitted it, and they promoted it, and then I asked them if I could post it on my personal page, and they said it was cool. So
Oh, that's awesome. All right, here it is. Roller Coaster Ride Joust, AHUFF remix.
In this roller coaster, did I give up? Was it too hard? Or was it too hard? 'Cause I just gave up. Just gave up. Did I sleep away the day 'cause I was tired? Or did I get tired 'cause I slept too much? Slept too much. We go up and down. We go up and down on this roller coaster ride. Roller coaster ride. We fall back sometimes, we fall back sometimes on this roller coaster ride. In this roller coaster ride. In this roller coaster ride. I don't even know what I'm thinking. Didn't see it coming, but I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't even know how to do this. I don't need a map like to show me how. Show me how. We go up and down. We go up and down on this roller coaster ride. Roller coaster ride. We fall back sometimes, we fall back sometimes on this roller coaster ride. In this roller coaster ride. In this roller coaster ride. We fall back sometimes, we fall back sometimes on this roller coaster ride. Roller, 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 roller coaster ride. Maybe I just thought that I figured out a way to stay inside the box, living in the flow. Know that if I just keep trying, if I don't keep wasting time, we'll always show being on the go. In this roller coaster ride.
Oh yeah, I definitely enjoyed that one. That's why I kept it going the whole time.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was just thinking. I was like, wow, I think this is probably my favorite song that I've made because I haven't heard it in a while. So I was just like re-listening to it. I was like, wow, I really did that.
Jeremy has a one-word review. Dope.
Nice, perfect.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks for being here, man. You're always here to support.
Jeremy. It's my favorite Jeremy.
My favorite person named besides the Code Lyoko Jeremy.
Oh, wow.
Dude, okay.
What an obscure TV show.
All right, so that's awesome. Let's see.
All
right, now it's time for the real hard-hitting questions. Are you ready?
Hard.
Yes.
All right, so describe
That was a reoccurring question.
describe the perfect sandwich.
Ooh. Have you ever been to Costco and you got their turkey sandwich from Costco?
Oh yeah. Costco has good food.
That's a pretty mob sandwich.
Costco has really good food and it's like dirt cheap.
Yeah. I think the sandwich is like $2, but that thing goes hard in the paint. That sandwich is amazing.
Really?
Hard.
So
Wow. I've only ever gotten pizza and hot dogs.
Yo,
there.
get the other. You got to branch out, Andrew. You got to branch
yeah,
out.
dude, get like a turkey sandwich and the smoothie, and you'll thank me later. Okay.
All right, next time to go to Costco. But
We're gonna have to cut this off early so I can go to Costco. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
Get a turkey
just leave.
sandwich and a smoothie.
I'll be right back. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Let's see. All right. So where should people find your music? Where can people SoundCloud? What else?
Yeah, well, right now I'm only on SoundCloud, but if you go on my Instagram also, you can get a link to my music there. I am, for these next 2 songs in my DJ mix, I'm going to put it on all platforms. That's one of my big goals this year is to get everything on all platforms. So Spotify, Apple Music, all of that stuff is coming soon. So right now I'm just on, Instagram, Twitter, and SoundCloud. But there's big things coming up. I just revamped my Instagram. I'm doing, and I'm going to be putting my stuff on all platforms when I get these 2 new songs finished.
That's one thing that's interesting is having to juggle like a million different platforms because everyone's on different platforms. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that's the thing that's kind of hard is like, I've only been like SoundCloud exclusive for so long. Like now I've tried to make it a goal that I'm going to, put everything on all platforms. But when you say all platforms, you're not saying 3 platforms. There's like 7, there's Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, so you got to kind of do juggle a bunch of things, which is kind of why I've been strictly SoundCloud only. But I'm definitely going to branch out within these next few months.
So are you familiar with services that you upload your music to and it just automatically distributes it everywhere?
Yeah, like DistroKid.
Yeah.
That's what that's probably what I'm going to use. But still, I feel like then you still got to look at all your stats and promote everything. It's kind of
easier because it's in one place. Yeah, I think there's a lot of promotion.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of dealing with that too. We have a couple of them. Like for the live stream, we have, was it Mob Crush? And it just automatically it does Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook all at the same time, like right now. And then there's what do we use? Anchor. Yeah, Anchor's for podcasts, and it puts it on everything, like iTunes and Spotify and everything. So that's pretty neat to have.
Buffer.
Yeah, we're using Buffer for our Facebook or for our social media posts. Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't. I've only heard of the music kind of exclusive ones. DistroKid is a big one. That's the one I'm probably going to use. And I think it's the best deal because it's instead of some of them you pay every single song you have to pay to put them on. But with DistroKid, you just pay $20 and it's for a whole year. You can put as many songs as you want on all platforms. So
that's awesome, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's kind of the best deal for anybody who's looking to do it or looking to try it out for sure.
We have another thing. It's called Buffer for social media, and it's like a hub for social media. So it shows all your social media pages on one page, and you can just post everywhere at once or schedule posts and all this. It's pretty cool.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll definitely check it out. That seems like something that would probably make it way easier.
No, because that was what was bothering me is we had all these posts, and it's okay, we got to post stuff on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and etc.
This is great. And they even have a phone app for it.
Oh yeah, it's pretty neat though.
Yeah.
I wish we had
Yeah.
actual sponsors. I wish we had actual sponsors because we would kill it right now. No, like-
Dude, I really want Audible. I want those free audiobooks, man.
oh yeah. I feel like we need at least like a decent sized audience before we start trying to reach out and do that.
Yeah, it's kind of
So
small.
okay, so what are your plans to like try to spread out your audience and get more people to listen to your music?
Well, definitely something I've been working on doing is the collabs with my friends from school, like I said. And then I want to do more stuff like this, like podcasts and talking to people and a lot of outreach, because I feel like I think a lot of stuff that I'm like, oh my God, this would be such a great thing to say on like a platform. And then like, I never try to do that. So I've been really trying to look at, different podcasts I can talk to about music and other stuff. And so definitely just podcasts, collabs. And that's another reason why I totally revamped my Instagram, was to, like kind of make it a little bit more professional looking. Cause I had a lot of just like personal posts and like family posts and stuff like that, and I want people to go to my Instagram and be like, wow, this is a person who's like really focusing on their music and is putting out like professional content. So just like rebooting my social medias as well. So those are the main three things, so like podcasts, social media, and collabs with other musicians.
Oh, that's cool. Yes. So I think it's when you collaborate with other people, they're like kind of at the same level as you as far as like followers or whatever. I think that's important because you can like kind of lift each other up.
Yeah, for sure. And especially with music, because then like, since we're already friends and we already know each other, it's like they're like, okay, they post about it a lot, and then I'll post about it. So then all of their friends see it and all of my friends see it, and then they're like, oh, let me go check out our friend. You know what I mean? And so it definitely works out well. I mean, it's way easier to do that than it is when I just like make my own songs and then just like post them, because then everybody's just always seeing my posts and all my friends already know, so it's not really reaching anybody new.
Right. And then oh yeah, we have a viewer question. Do you wanna hear an audience question?
Of course, yeah, sure.
Let's see. Okay, so when you're doing your production, what kind of equipment do you use? That's what Jeremy's asking.
Oh, I have a Mac laptop, and I use Logic for my DAW, which is a digital audio workstation. So I use Logic. And then I have a keyboard and an audio interface. My keyboard is like the standard, like M Audio, like the basic, the cheapest one you can find at GarageBand. I don't really, like, a lot of people are like, oh, you should get a really expensive keyboard. But like, I feel like if you don't actually play piano, then you don't really need an expensive keyboard. I'm just using it to like lay down notes, lay down melodies. I'm not doing anything like too crazy where I'm like actually playing in front of people. So, that's about it. I don't actually have a mic or anything, because normally I send my songs to other people and they record it themselves and then send it back to me. So that's about it. That's all I use. I do use Pro Tools sometimes, which is another audio workstation on my computer, but a lot of it I do inside the box, which is like on my computer.
It sounds like a good like minimalist approach to things. It seems like with how much software and how good it's getting, you don't need as much like physical equipment.
Yeah. The only thing I would say that you really definitely do need is a keyboard, because a lot of the times they have like, you could play the keyboard on the keys of your computer, but that means that you can only play like 10 keys at a time.
No, I agree with you completely. Yeah. I have like a little half scale one. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
It's like a USB and then like an audio interface or whatever. Yeah, I do a little bit of that too, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I mean, you definitely don't need like a huge studio. The only thing I'm really looking for speakers, because I've been mixing mostly with like my friend's speakers or just like my headphones, and I feel like I just need to start getting some speakers. I've been putting it off for a while, so it's about time I'm about to do that. But that's basically the only things that I use is interface, my computer, and keyboard.
Yeah, like some little studio monitors, you can get some decent ones for not that much money, like for your laptop or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool, yeah. And your audio interface should just be able to plug them in.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I got. That was like one of the first things I got. I think I got it for Christmas. I didn't even know how to use it. So, so now that I actually know how to use stuff, it's like really cool that I like just have like this really minimal setup, and it's really easy, like if you move or if you have to, or if I want to bring it somewhere, or if I go on vacation, it's not like I have to bring 80,000 things, I have to bring these huge speakers or anything. I can just bring my laptop, the essentials of what I need,
Right, especially with electronic music, you have all your instruments built into your computer.
Exactly, yeah. So it definitely works out. The only thing is that when you record somebody or when somebody records themselves, if they have, not a good recording, then it does kind of cause a problem, because then I have to resend it back and they have to record it and stuff like that. But I think a minimalist approach is really good, especially for somebody who's still trying to figure out exactly what they want to do, or like if you move or whatever, instead of setting up this whole studio every time you have to go somewhere.
Yeah, that's a good point. So if you were to branch out and like try to produce a different type of music, like what do you think you would try?
I mean, I definitely started off with like R&B and hip hop. So, I mean, the only thing I could ever think about is if I was going to change genres, that would probably be what I would go back to. Because that was what really got me into being a producer in the first place. But I've always had my heart was always kind of with electronic music. It was always like, even when I was producing rap and R&B and hip hop, I still always felt like my heart was kind of in EDM. And I always remember when I went to my first couple shows and I would see the DJs and I'd feel the music and I'd see everybody together. It was just one of those feelings that's indescribable and that I just loved so much. And it was just one of those things where I was like, wow, this is what I want to do. So I don't think I could ever see myself changing, because from going from hip hop to EDM was a really big change for me. So I couldn't imagine myself going back, just because it was a jump, but it was one of those things that made me feel like, wow, this is really what I'm supposed to do.
It's really it's awesome that you're really passionate about that and that you're super into it. A lot of people don't get that way about things,
Yeah, for sure. And it's just one of those things, I feel like if you are even a little bit interested in electronic music, if you do go to a festival, you can totally understand what I'm talking about, because there's just an energy there of everybody wants to dance with each other and talk and have a good time, and they just love it so much, and you can tell how much they love it. And it makes you love it, because there's just all this passion and energy and fun and just general caring about each other and the music that is just very hard to find nowadays, I feel like.
Yeah, music is awesome just in general. I used to be the type of person, when I was younger, that didn't like electronic music, because it was oh, they're not real instruments, they're not really playing whatever. And I don't know, but it seems like now I've kind of evolved my music taste, and I'm really into electronic music, because there's a lot of work and a lot of talent that goes into producing that kind of stuff. People don't realize, I think.
Yeah, I understand that, especially when I was younger too, and I played an instrument. I did feel like it was kind of cheating in a way, but I don't think I really understood how much work and time and energy it went into making the instrument sound good on their computer.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot more than just playing the sound,
Yeah, exactly. And so I don't think I really understood that kind of aspect of it.
Right. Okay. So is it okay if we play another one of your songs?
Yeah, sure. Which one are you thinking about playing?
VHS.
Oh, yeah, sure. That's good.
Do you like that song?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it's your
do.
song. Of course you like it, but
Yeah.
I mean, because it really stood out to me, so that's why I wanted to play it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right, cool. Let's just let's put that on there. This is VHS by AHUFF. Well, yeah, I like
Clap,
that song.
clap, clap.
I like that song a lot, actually.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I like that little like intro part, the little lead at the beginning. It's pretty cool, and at the end, and also at the end.
Oh yeah, yeah, thank you, yeah. Well, when I was making that song, I remember like I wanted it to be like when you were little and you used to have to rewind it, the VHS and that like rewinder thing. You know what I'm talking about?
That's
You had to
super
like, put
cool,
the
yeah.
VHS in the rewinder. So then you rewound it, and then you'd hear it all, and then it would like start from the beginning. So that was kind of like my inspiration.
So I have. Do you have any questions, Andrew?
No.
No, I have another question. Let's see. So I know we talked about this a little bit, but how do you what are some areas you think you could improve as an artist?
Well, I definitely think I need to be a little bit more like disciplined. You know, I think a lot of the times I kind of like push off stuff that I want to do and just do what I think other people will like more. But I definitely think I need to be more disciplined in like trying to be more professional about like, okay, if I tell myself I need a deadline for something, I need to do it and then have it be done by then. Because I think it's really hard like being your own boss a lot of the time because you give yourself leeway like, oh no, don't worry, I'll get to it, don't worry, I'll get to it, and then you never really get to it. So that's definitely something that I think I need to work on. And as like for music, I really want to make my stuff sound as professional as possible. You know what I mean? Whether that means I need to take help from other people or not, but I really want to bring my production to the next level. So when you hear my stuff, you're like, wow, I could imagine that on the radio.
Well, do you ever like send your rough mixes to people and like ask their opinion about it?
Oh yeah, I do all the time. And I definitely do that all the time, but I always send it to my friends from school, and I always feel like, you know, they're my friends, so they're not really going to be as harsh as I necessarily might want them to be. You know what I mean? And I know that could be my thing, and I think a lot of artists struggle with that, like when they ask their artist friends, like what they think of stuff. Because they always feel like, you know, they're their friends, they're going to be nice, and that's how I always feel too. But I just really, yeah, I do that though. So, yeah.
You should either find a couple friends that are just dicks, or or like ask them, just be like, hey, give me like the brutal honest, like, what do you think?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I've been getting a little bit better at doing that, for sure. Just being like, yo, I want your 100% raw truth opinion, you know? Because I'd rather somebody tell me like, hey, dude, just totally scrap that and start over, than be like, oh yeah, it's really great, and then I put it down and I look like an idiot. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I think there's a balance though, because you don't want to take people's opinions too seriously, because if you really like the way you're doing something, you don't want other people's input to mess it up, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I understand that too. There is definitely a balance for sure. I agree with that.
And okay, so you said that you want to try to do more things that people want to see. So what do you mean by that?
Well, I definitely, like, I want to do more, like, you know, like I said, like, putting out a DJ mix where, that's, like, an hour long that people can listen to that isn't necessarily my original stuff, but, like, a lot of songs that are just, like, really popular right now that could go into a DJ mix and that I could potentially send to, you know, club promoters or whatever, and then hopefully start playing at clubs and stuff. Because I just started recently DJing not too long ago, but, I've been a producer for a long time, so I already kind of knew music, so I had a little bit of an edge up from somebody who just started DJing and never produced or never learned music at all. So that's one of my main goals for this next, I would say like month or so, is to really make a DJ mix and then have it ready to put up and to promote to other like clubs and stuff and hopefully start getting gigs. But I also want to just start making my music sound more, I guess, like commercial, like sounding more ready to be given out on like a mass scale, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, like mastered, so it's like super loud and thick and wide and all those adjectives.
Yeah.
I don't. But yeah, I think persistence. Like I've gone through the same thing because I've just trying to get yourself out there. It just takes time and patience and consistency.
Yeah, exactly. And I think sometimes, you do kind of fall off on the consistency and it does hurt you. And so I just kind of wanted to take some time to like reboot myself and redo my Instagram and everything and just start from scratch and just start to go on to something that I've really wanted to do and just have a professional Instagram, have professional sounding music and really get myself to the level that I know I can be at. Because I feel like I definitely was settling for a while. And I think that a lot of musicians do that they get comfortable in an area and they just like settle there. And I think that the only way that you could really improve is by pushing yourself to try to do something that's not necessarily in your comfort zone.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You're doing a good job though, because your Instagram looks really good. All the pictures you're posting look good. Your music sounds good.
Thank you.
I think you're heading in the right direction. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. And that's all you can do. My sister always tells me like, you just got to spend every day trying to get a little bit closer to the goals that you want to achieve. Like it's not about one day waking up and then all of your goals being achieved. It's about like, every day you got to do a little bit more just to get there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you ever listen to like motivational speakers or anything, or like read books about like that kind of thing?
No, I don't really do that, but my sister is a hypnotherapist, and so she's very like motivational speakery. So I feel like I live with one, and so
that's perfect. Yeah,
I kind of get enough just from that.
Oh, that's cool. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention that like where you first contacted me, that Daisy thing.
Oh yeah, the Daisy app.
Like, so how'd you hear about that?
I am actually a huge Game of Thrones fan.
Oh yeah, yeah, I did the same thing. Yeah, I was like, wow, what is this?
Yeah, so I actually Maisie Williams actually is only a month older than I am. No, she's a month older than I am. So her birthday just passed and my birthday is coming up now. And so I like found out that random fact and was like, oh, let me follow her Twitter. I don't know how this all like connected in my brain, but I was just like, oh, she's really famous and a month older than me. Like, let me just follow her on Twitter. I don't know. So then I saw that she was posting about like, oh, Daisy, I'm making this app. And I kind of looked into it. And this was kind of at the same time that I was thinking about like, okay, let me reboot my Instagram. Let me really try to do all these things to start making myself look a little bit more professional. And so then it just kind of fell into place because I realized like, yo, this could really help me if I want to find more artwork, if I want to, like, I'm going to need a DJ, like a logo, and I want to, go on podcasts and stuff like that. So I just signed up, and then you're, I think, one of the first people I actually messaged after signing up. So
that's cool. Yeah. So it's an interesting platform. Yeah, I've explored it a little bit. But yeah, I think you're the only one that actually like responded to that thing I put up.
Oh yeah, well I think like podcasts aren't really like that. I think a lot of people kind of forget like it's a really good way to like reach out. You know what I mean? Because if you do like 10 podcasts and you get like 2 people, that's like 20 new people. You know what I mean? So yeah, and it's kind of in multiple places because we have the video version and then we have an audio version also that gets uploaded. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's just. I'm just trying to branch out and try new things and go from there. So that's why I just like looked at podcasts and I saw that you also lived in Arizona where I live. So I was just like, let me, shoot a line, see what happens. That's probably why it showed you my post on there because we live close together or something like that. Yeah, maybe. I have no idea how it works, but yeah, I've been looking up a little bit more too, like trying to find people for some stuff that I'm doing, like arts wise. And I mean, I definitely encourage other artists to try it out, Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I can't find it's an actual app, right? Because I can't find it on my app store. Yeah, weird? I actually don't have the app either. I just use the I just use it on my computer or like my web browser on my phone, like Safari. I just like type in Daisy and I think that might go from there. I tried to use the app before, but I have like the old app before they were in beta. Yeah. So now when I try to redo it, it just downloads the old app. I don't know. It's weird. They're probably still working on it. I think they were hiring like developers for it, like programmers. So I'm just doing like I just do it on my computer or my phone web browser. Yeah, that's the same thing I do. So what's your take on the recent Game of Thrones season?
Well,
oh wow! I mean, I don't know. That's the thing. There's still time for things to
there's
turn
one episode
up. You
left.
know what I mean?
I haven't seen the last.
There's still time. They've done more crazy
guys,
things.
guys.
All right, what do you got?
Spoiler alert. before we start talking about this.
Oh yes, spoiler
Okay,
alert.
I didn't see the episode last Saturday or last Sunday. I mean,
So then I'm not gonna tell you. You gotta
well,
watch it.
it's
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'll watch both episodes tomorrow and then I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, look, you got you maybe you should get one going tonight.
I was
so that
disappointed. Like, I don't
tomorrow-
know. I just don't. I'm not motivated to finish it because, like, I don't know. I got mad that they killed the Night King in one episode. Like, they hyped him up for like 7 seasons, and then he just dies in one episode. I'm like, okay. I'm like,
I mean, I'm gonna agree. It definitely does feel rushed. Some points, there's definitely some like rushing. You know, like there used to be like the whole like episodes to travel to places, and then now it's just like boom, they're there. You know. So I definitely see why some people are like, oh, it's definitely rushed, and I don't know exactly why they did that, and I don't know if that was like necessarily the best move, but I'm still hopeful. I'm still hopeful things can end well.
it's got to be like the network and like HBO and the budget. They're probably like, oh, you got to finish this series so we can put another one on. You know, it's all
Yeah.
always how it is. And the writers are just kind of like, I don't know. They ran out of like book material, so they're kind of trying to come up with everything.
Yeah,
And
for sure. But yeah, I mean, I really got to say I do love Williams, though. Great actress, and
Oh, yeah.
so that's how I got on Daisy. That's like how all this like transpired, was because I was like, yo, she's awesome, and so then I followed her, and then you know.
we got to see how she turns out, because like, you know, a lot of child stars like go nuts. Like
Yeah,
hopefully
for
she
sure,
hopefully
yeah.
she doesn't. You know, hopefully she.
Yeah. She seems like she's doing okay so far. So far so good.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, so do you want to talk about you wanted to talk about Woodstock 50, Andrew?
What's 50?
Isn't that what you wanted to talk about?
Oh no, just for whenever.
You put it in content that we should talk about.
I thought we were gonna talk about it like next week or something.
Have you heard about Woodstock 50?
I thought it was all about the guest. That's why. What?
Me? No, I haven't heard about it.
So you know what Woodstock is,
Was
though,
it
right?
canceled?
Yeah, it was like canceled, and then they brought it back, and then like one of the promoters was, there's an article about it. The original founders like used their powers as the original founders to take $17 million out of their bank account for it or something. Like this whole
Wow.
controversy, and yeah, I mean, I guess
That's crazy.
I guess Miley Cyrus is gonna be there. Maybe
It's
they'll have
very-
they should have a hologram of Jimi Hendrix or something.
That would be cool.
Or
But I was just surprised of how diverse it is. Like,
I know there's a lot of different types of music. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
when the first Woodstock was just rock and roll. Maybe
Yeah.
a little.
Oh yeah, all
Little
rock and
different
roll.
artists
That's
here
what
and
was
there.
really popular at the time,
Yeah.
and I wish it was still really popular. Yeah, we're kind of trying to do the same thing on our podcast. We're trying to bring, like, we have you, and then we've had like deathcore bands on here, and like all like tons of different types of music. So we're trying to be eclectic. So what do you think about this podcast? What do you think about it?
I mean, so I like it. I listened to a couple of the shows yesterday. My sister was talking to me though also, but I was also kind of listening. I was more listening to the podcast than listening to her. But I like it. You know, I really like that that it's just like very relaxed. Like, you know, you could just talk about whatever, which is really awesome, because I feel like sometimes a lot of podcasts, they feel like almost scripted, like, because they stick to such like specific things, and you could tell like they already had their answer to their questions like already done and stuff like that.
Right.
And so it's really cool that it's just like kind of like go with the flow type thing. And that's definitely what I wanted to do, because this is the first time I've ever been on a podcast. So I didn't want something that was super serious my first time. I wanted to kind of ease into it and just like slowly grow from there.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a rigid structure at all. Like you said, I have notes that, like, if I run out of stuff to talk about, then I just like refer to the notes and like find something to talk about. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but no, that's cool. We just try to. Our goal is to just so people can come listen to it and like find interesting music they haven't heard before. That's
Yeah, and that's great, you know, because I definitely feel like in the music industry now, it's definitely like you always hear the same producers, the same artists on the radio and stuff like that. So I think it's really good to give, you know, artists who are trying to break into the industry and stuff the opportunity to try to, you know, get their name out there. And I think that's a really important thing to do.
And we're kind of locked into independent artists because, we couldn't play music if it was owned by like a record company. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's great. I mean, honestly, I think that works way better for people like me, and it's like something I really appreciate. So thank you guys for doing that.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. You've been a really great guest, and it's awesome to talk to you because you're very motivated and passionate about what you do.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks everyone for listening. Do we have anything else before we wrap things up?
No, I think not.
No, I'm good. Thanks again for having me, guys.
Oh, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.